Hey guys, happy Wednesday. So we're going to go over page 8. You're going to use the class time to work on the 3 IXL assignments that needed to be completed: 5.1, 5.2, 5.3. Let me show you where they are. 5.1 T1, 5.2 T2, 5.2 T3. We also, tonight's homework is page 16 through 24. It's only 6 questions. It just looks like a lot of paper because the problems are so big on the paper. And these are actual STAR questions for Unit 5, and it would be very beneficial to see how the STAR is going to ask you about inequalities. All right, so we're not assigning this homework for fun. We're assigning it so you're benefiting from it and you're going to learn from it. Again, this is on the YouTube page, Unit 5 packets here. You have 3 IXL skills, and then our next class, we're going to be building on those for the next lesson. Okay, so everyone should be on page 8. I'm going to zip through the lesson, and then the remainder of class, you're working on the 6 problems in your packet and the 3 IXL assignments. So the chant that I've been singing since December: box the Y, move the X. Remember, when we move the X, we do the opposite. And then we divide, divide, divide. So we're going to divide by the coefficient of Y, which in this case, it is 4. Now we have Y is greater than 3 minus 3 over 4x. Here is our inequality in graphing form. I will note that our y-intercept is 3. I'm going to go ahead and fill that blank in. My slope is negative 3 over 4, which means my line should be going down. Notice, if you need any reminders, go back to page 6. So page 6, I can even minimize that and show you. Page 6 has this table. This table tells you this symbol and this symbol are dashed lines. Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to are solid lines. Both greater than signs are above when you shade, and both less than signs are below when you shade. So this is your resource page if you're needing assistance on which way to shade, or if it's dotted or a solid line. Page 6. If you also need extra practice on these questions, page 7 is in the binder or in your packet just for extra practice. Okay, we are going to use the slope negative 3 over 4. So we're going to go down 3 and over 4 right there, down 3 and over 4 over there. Also, we'll go up 3 and to the left 4 right here. Before I get excited and connect these points, I have to remind myself we're dealing with an inequality called greater than. So if I looked back on page 6, I would see a greater than sign. Greater than is, in fact, a dotted line. A greater than sign is also shading above. Okay. Greater than means dotted line. So what I'm going to do to make a dotted line is just place a dash between our points and then throw an arrow on the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to do my shading. When I'm shading greater than, I just need to shade greater than the line. Greater means above. And these points that I'm shading are the solutions to this inequality. This is the solution set. Every point above the line is a solution. That's what I mean when I say solution set. Every point above the line is a solution. Okay, that means this is a solution. This is a solution. This point right here, even though it's not on a line, is a solution. This is a solution. This is a solution. Every point in the shaded area is a solution. Question, is this a solution? No, because the line is not solid. This is not a solution. This is not a solution. This is not a solution. The points on the line are not a solution. They are not in the shaded region. Only points above the line. So even if the point was right here, that would be a solution. But on the line would not be a solution. So it's very particular. Okay, guys? Let's look at question number 2. Question number 2 is going to remind me that I forgot to fill in the top. Remember, I forgot to talk about this to you guys. Okay, remember that if you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality. Another thing you could do is switch it or change directions. Okay, so if it's going less, you're going to make it go greater, and so on. Okay, I know that I'm going to have to switch it when the coefficient next to y is negative. There we go. No, we don't. Come on now. Here we go. Box the y. Move the x. Divide, divide, divide. I'm going to move the x. That adds to 0. And then I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide. And I'm going to divide. Okay. I get y. But instead of writing a less than or equal to, because I divided by that negative number, I'm going to remember to flip to a greater than or equal to. Now, -7 divided by -4, I would type it in here, is a 1.75. And 2 divided by -4 is -0.5, or the slope is -1/2. So this is the inequality. Okay. So before we do any graphing, let's go ahead and label if our line's going to be solid or dotted. Again, we have greater than or equal to. That is the name of our sign. When it's greater than or equal to, we know equal to means solid line, and greater means shade above. Greater means bigger. Shading above stuff means you're getting higher. Equal to means equal is an answer. So a solid line represents answers on the line. Shading above represents answers above the line. So our M is -1/2, our B is 1.75. And don't freak out that the B is not a perfect number. It's 1.75. We can get over that. So 1.75 would be about that. We're going to go down 1 and over 2. And look, I'm in the same place as I was on my y-intercept, a little bit below the black line. Down 1 over 2. I'm a little bit below the black line. Down 1 over 2, and I'm a little bit below the black line. Okay, now I'm going to go the other way, up 1 over 2. I'm a little bit below the black line. Now we've already said greater than or equal to is solid. Okay, now we have to shade greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So we have greater than is up here, or we have equal to is right here. So if you are an answer to this problem, you could be right here. Let's get black. You could be on the line. You could be in the shaded area. You could be on the line or in the shaded area. That is the solution set. Anywhere on the line or above it is the solution set. Anywhere on the line or above it is the solution set. So let's type in solution set. Any point in the pink highlighted area is a solution to the problem. Coach Hughes, what's the problem? The problem is right here. That is a problem. Y is greater than or equal to 1.75 minus 1/2 x. All of these points in the shaded region have a y coordinate that is greater than or equal to the number 1.75 minus half of the x coordinate. All right, let's take a look at an equation that's in point slope form. Point slope form, don't write this down, is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, notice in this question, this represents this number and this represents this number. Okay, they gave you an m, which is 2/3. They gave you a 6x for the x, and they gave you a y for the y. All right, so I'm just showing you that this is in point slope form. We're still going to box the y, but we're not going to move the x because this is not standard form. This is point slope form. So we don't move the x because why? Well, the x is already moved. The job is to get x and y apart from each other. And here they already are apart from each other. So instead of boxing the y, moving the x, divide, 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 which is a fun chant, but for standard form, our fun chant for point slope form is distribute, distribute, add 4. Okay, that's the chant for this problem. So first, let's talk about distribute, distribute. Remember, distribute means multiply, M-U-L-T, multiply. We're going to multiply 2/3 times 6. Okay, we're going to multiply 2/3 times 6. 2/3 times 6. We're going to multiply 2/3 times 6, which is 4. Now I'm going to have a 4. Now I have to restart it because Cami is so particular. Really though, Cami? Come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. In the middle, really? So I don't know what the problem is. Let's just press play. Please load so I can teach my math lesson because I'm not going to be there tomorrow for first period. Oh my gosh. Here we go. 4x is the answer. Now we're going to multiply 2/3 times -9. Stop. Really? This is ridiculous. Re-dang-diculous. Don't understand this issue. Re-dang-diculous. OMG, this is re-dang-diculous. So dumb. 2/3 times 6, we just said was 4x. 2/3 times -9. 2/3 times -9 is -6. Make sure you put a -6. Okay, we did box the y. Now we're going to add 4 to both sides. Notice I'm going to add 4 to the same like term. Now I have y is less than or equal to 4x, and then we have a -2. So now I have less than or equal to is the inequality that I'm using. A less than sign means shade below, and an equal to means a solid line. Okay. Now I have my b is -2. My m is 4, but I want the m to be a fraction. So 4/1. I'm going to go up 4 and over 1 and land right here. Up 4 and over 1 and land right there. So again, less than is going to be a solid line. So let's connect and shade below. Okay. Because it is a solid line, we're going to shade below and we're going to shade where it's equal. So where it's equal is on the line. That's where it's equal to. And where it's less than is shading below. What do I call this? I call this the solution set. Every point in this solution set is a solution. Okay, so a point right here, a point close to the line, a point even closer, a point on the line, any point in the yellow shaded region is a solution. Okay, final problem is graphing this point slope form question. -4 times 1/2. Remember, we're going to multiply -4 times 1/2. The other way you could say that is, what is half of -4? Well, half of 4 is 2. So half of -4 would be -2. And there's an x, so I will put an x. Now we're going to multiply again, but this time it's a -4 times a -2, which is a +8. Students make a mistake right there if they make a mistake, because they forget that a negative times a negative makes a positive. Now we should have already boxed the y, my fault. We're going to go ahead and do the opposite of +3. We're going to -3 to the like term. 8 is a like term with -3. Now I can scribble. I'm going to call that y is less than -2x. 8 minus 3 is +5. So now your b is 5. Your m is -2/1 because it needs to be a fraction. Your symbol is just a less than sign, which is a dotted line, and shade below. Okay. One of my students told me how they remember that this is a less than sign is that this looks like an L. A lazy L. So it does look like you took the letter L and you squished it. It's lazy. And that's not, it didn't drink its 5-hour energy drink that day. It is super sleepy. And so it got lazy, sleepy, tired. And that is a less than sign. Okay. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but that's what I'm trying to get at. We're going to start at 5. We're going to go down to and over 1. This is a dotted line because it's not equal to. but it is less than. Less than means shade lower. So our answer is a dotted line. Any point on this dotted line is not an answer. Not an answer. Any point in the blue is an answer. Remember, we call this the solution set. Okay. Now, where do you go from here? You do have paper homework, number 16, pages 16, page 16 through 24. So let's jump down to page 16. There's 17. Notice page 16 has one problem on it. Okay, this one problem says the graph of this equation is shown on the grid. Which ordered pair is in the solution set? Well, first of all, there's not a shaded area here. S-H-A-D, shaded. The solution set needs to be shaded. They don't have anything shaded. Here is the equation with an inequality sign. So you're going to need to box the y, move the x, divide, divide, divide. And remember, if you divide by a negative, you flip the inequality. One of these 4 points is going to be either on the line or in the shaded area. This question doesn't take any pencil math. It's given to you in slope-intercept form. You can just read this sign because this sign tells you which way to shade, and this sign tells you, are you looking for a dotted line or a solid line? All of the lines are the same angle, so you don't have to really worry about, did they really start on the y-intercept and move down this many and over that many? You just need to identify, where do I shade and what kind of a line is it? So this question can be rather fast. Here's the same question. They already gave you the problem ready to be graphed. Again, you're looking at this inequality sign, and here they have 2 lines that are horizontal and 2 lines that are slanted. So decide, is negative 4x a slanted line or a horizontal line? You can type that in the Desmos. Then decide what less than or equal to means. Does it mean less, shade lower, shade above? Does it mean equal to a dotted line or a solid line? That's what you have to process. Again, which ordered pair? So in this star problem, they did not even graph that line for you. So you're going to use this graph to graph it, shade, and then pick which point is in that shaded area. And then tell me how you got that. Number 19, be careful because this is not even in graphing form. It's jumbled up. So you have to break it apart and rewrite this with y first, the inequality sign, and then mx plus b. Get the slope and the y-intercept on the other side. This is jumbled up. We cannot figure out the answer right now. Okay, here we are at 45. Again, you're going to have to rewrite this equation. Box the y, move the x, divide, divide, divide. Pick a side to shade. One of those 2 sides has to be shaded, and then which dot is either in the shaded area or on the line. 17, which graph best represents the solution? Again, this equation is already y is greater than 3x minus 4. Is a greater than sign a solid line or a dotted line? Is a greater than sign shading below or shading above? That's all you have to know for 17. Number 23. You can read that. It's too many words for me to hurry up and read. And the last problem, which is on page 24, is problem number 5. They give you the question in standard form. Then you're going to have to do your 3 steps. box the y, move the x, divide, divide, divide. Graph it, shade it, and then decide which of these 4 dots is in the shaded area. All right, that's it. There's probably an hour left in class. Please, Mr. Coffee, Mr. Richter, or whoever, Mr. or Mrs. Sub, make sure you're on my blend page. You acknowledge that it's January 12th and 11th. You acknowledge that you need to do these 6 problems, and that by Thursday, you need to have all your IXLs completed. That's 4 grades I will put in the grade book this week. All 3 IXLs and your star problems. Okay, please get that done. All right.